Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Gabe Pearson and Jill Pearson. I know you can't see her right now, but she's behind the scenes. Welcome to the Global Virtual LifeVantage Academy. It's my honor and pleasure to be able to host these incredible guest speakers and trainers that we have this morning to help each and every one of you just take your business to the next level. For some of you who haven't had the privilege of meeting Jill and I, we have now been with LifeVantage for 8.5 years. This is our first time ever in the network marketing arena. Through great products and leadership, we've been able to get to the top of this company. We are Master Pro 10s. I spent the first 30 years of my working career in the fitness industry. Started back in 1979 as a health club instructor, making $2.13 an hour plus commission. And you know what, guys? This was the best time of my life at that time because we all have hopes, right? We all have dreams. We all have aspirations. And mine were to own health clubs all over this country and literally make millions and millions of dollars. Well, fast forward 20 years, I own 3 in Jacksonville, and I'm certainly not complaining. But it took me 20 years to figure out, even though I own those gyms, I was still building somebody else's dream. So some of you might be in that same space as myself, maybe owned by your business, right? I just really got tired of creating millionaires outside of my family. I didn't own the property that those 3 gyms were on and made those real estate guys millions and millions of dollars. I didn't own the finance company. Made those guys tens of millions of dollars, and I didn't own the leasing company. So it took me 20 years to figure all this out. So I got out of the health club industry, 2001, started my own personal training company, quickly morphed into a wellness company, doing fine until 2009. Some of you might be able to resonate with our story. We got hit hard financially in 2009, lost 3 6-figure contracts in 30 days, and it brought us to our knees. I mean, guys, girls, we were on the wall of worry. But those 30 years were preparing me for the next 8.5 years. And I was honored to be able to be a keynote speaker, and I traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to try to drum up new business, retool our business. And a complete stranger, her name is Susanna Abbott, had the courage to walk up to me and ask me if I've ever heard of a product called Protandem. And folks, let me tell you something. God's my witness. If there wasn't 8 to 10 people waiting in line to speak to me behind her, I most likely would have turned around and walked away from her. Thank God I didn't. The next thing came out of that lady's mouth, literally retired us from the fitness business 22 months later. And she simply said, would I be willing to watch a 9-minute video on an ABC primetime investigative report? Now, some of you that are on this webinar tonight or this morning might have just watched that video. And what came out of her mouth really struck a chord with me. It was my hook, because I've never seen a television investigating reporting program with the credibility of ABC News ever do a positive spin on a dietary supplement. So I watched the video when I got back. The precise moment this world-renowned scientist, who, by the way, never even heard of before, gives John Quinones, who I've seen on TV many times, his blood test results. I'm elbowing my wife. I'm like, honey, this hasn't happened yet. This is history in the making. And if we can validate this, I think I found a solution. And we were developing a relationship with the Mayo Clinic at that time. What a great resource. I went to those guys, and those guys validated this product for me. And once they did that, I just checked that box off. I knew I didn't need to validate something that was validated by people a lot smarter than me. So I wanted to learn how to become a professional in this business. And the gentleman that I am getting ready to introduce you to, who's going to start off today's training, it has an integral part in the success that Jill and I had. He was trained well enough in this industry to take a brand spanking new distributor, a week old, to give her the tools, and I'm talking about the lady who came up to me, after my keynote to give her just enough information to pique my interest. And the rest is history. So it's a fascinating business. The first 25 minutes of this morning's training is, in my opinion, probably the most important part of your business, and that's getting in front of the audience. I was taught this my first week by the gentleman that's getting ready to get on. And he said, Gabe, people in front of the audience makes the most amount of money. So what we have done with that statement is kind of expanded it. I want all of you to be thinking about this morning as he's teaching you what he taught Jill and I. How many people on your team do you want in front of the audience? That's how you want to think about this business opportunity. He is a retired attorney and author of numerous books, including 12 Universal Laws of Success. And I know there's a lot of you that he is mentoring on that particular book. You know, it's a step-by-step approach to basic success principles. He also is a transformational speaker, a life coach. He's extremely popular when it comes to radio and television programs. He is an elite Pro 8 with LifeVantage. One of Jill and I, our mentors, and I said earlier, if it wasn't for him, Jill and I would not have had the success that we have today. So I want to welcome Dr. Herbert Harris, Elite Pro 8, Dr. Herbert Harris, to the webinar.
Wow. Thank you so much, Gabe. Can everybody hear me well?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm just honored to be on the program today. And one of the things I love is to get the life lessons. And that experience right there, meeting you, was a life lesson. Especially to our new people, you never know who the person knows. Sometimes you may not talk to a person, but it's not so much who you know, it's who they know. And my goodness, I am so glad I drove 90 miles to meet with Susanna. There were at least 3 occasions which I thought about not going. It rained, it was traffic heavy, and I really didn't know her that well. But my goodness, you know, follow your mind, and your mind will lead you to the right people. Well, my portion, and I'm going to work in my story into what we're going to do. I'm going to talk a bit about the nuts and bolts. And when we talk about our industry, one of the skills that you will learn is, we call it the skill of telling the story, the presentation. And as Gabe said earlier, the one who's in the front of the room makes the money. And so the presentation is really the heart of the business, because that's where a person gets to see enough of the different parts of the business to give them enough information to make a decision. That's really what it's about. And so one of the key things that when we look at success, success leaves clues. And one of the giants in our industry was Bill Britt. Bill Britt was one of the early distributors with Amway. And when he passed a couple years ago, his residual income was over $6 million a year. Now, I don't know how you can live on $6 million a year, okay? But we can try. But someone asked him, what was the key to his success? And he said this. He said, I told the story. That's what we're going to do now, to 1,200 people. 1,200. Now, that took place over roughly a 10-year period. But he told the story to 1,200 people. He said 900 people said no. Hopefully not the first 900. He said 85 people, 300 people said yes. So 300 out of 1,200 said yes. And out of those 300, 85 of them did a little something, and 215 of them went into witness protection. And for our distributors, you know exactly what I mean. They disappeared. He said of the 85, though, that did a little something, 35 of them did a lot. And in our business, 35 of them probably got to the ranks of Pro 6, Pro 7, and maybe even Pro 8. But he said of the 35 who did a lot, he said 11 of them made him a millionaire. Now, folks, that's key. In other words, 1 out of 100. And the common thread, though, is he told the story. And so that's what our training is going to be about this morning, telling the story, how to do a presentation, and not so much the nuts and bolts only, but the why of the presentation, what it's supposed to accomplish. Now, first, remember this. People have only 2 issues. When we look at our business, when we look at network marketing, people only have 2 issues. Number 1, does this thing work? And number 2, can I do it? And so your presentation must really address those 2 issues, that this thing works and they can do it. So let's look at it. The first key to the presentation is your story. In other words, what you did prior to LifeVantage. I like to look at the circumstances that made you even consider LifeVantage. As Gabe was saying, if he could have gotten away, he would have gotten away when Susanna approached him. So look at the circumstances when you considered LifeVantage, how you were introduced to it, and what has happened since then. And if you listen back at Gabe's introduction, he basically covered those points where he had a fitness center, he was having some financial issues with the market going down. He was introduced to it at an event, and the rest is history. He's a master pro 10, he and Jill. So tell your story, and I recommend that you write it out. You know, sometimes people get in front of the room and they think to tell the story means to do a autobiography. And they said, well, when I was 7, I fell out of a tree, okay? And so we're talking just a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, to tell your story. So for me, I'm a retired attorney. I've been in network marketing, for at least 35 years. I've been in 18 companies that I can remember, and 15 of them I had fun, made friends, and lost money. And I like to tell that part because many times people think that that everybody can do it. No, sometimes things don't work. Sometimes you don't work. But the point is that of those 18 companies, 3 of them made a difference in my life. Now, the reason that I looked at network marketing, I was a trial attorney. And most of the times people would say, well, why would an attorney do network marketing? They looked at it as almost a come down, you know. As a matter of fact, my ex-wife was concerned. She says, you know, when you start talking about network marketing, people are going to think we're not making any money. They're going to think you're a terrible lawyer. And that had me captive for about 2 years. But I'll tell you something, when need pushes you, you'll take action. And the reason that law was, I enjoyed it, but there were 2 things I recognized about it. Number 1, there was no residual income. I don't care how many cases you tried, how much money you won for other clients, you got no royalties, no residual income. So when you stop working, it stopped working. And number 2, it's linear income, that I was still trading hours for dollars. You know, maybe I was we were billing at $5.50 an hour, but we were still billing at $5.50 an hour. So there was no leverage, no way to leverage my income through the efforts of other people. And the third thing was that one thing that in law, I found that you had a title, but not necessarily any money. And so I was looking for something to supplement my legal income and to give me additional money, because my original strategy was to get the money from the network marketing industry to buy more real estate and become a great landlord. As a baby boomer, I realized that, you know, I was concerned about running out of money, you know. And when I looked at LifeVantage, we had actually retired from network marketing. And when a friend of mine called me and he wanted me to meet with him and Montel Williams, Montel was our first spokesperson. We eventually got together. I saw what the product had done for Montel. That got my attention. So when I looked at LifeVantage, the 2 things I was concerned about was, number 1, I was a baby boomer, a little bit earlier than a baby boomer, and I was concerned about outliving my money. And number 2, I thought that the product was phenomenal. And so as a result, I said, I am in this thing. I am going to get this product and get started. I got started in the business at the very beginning in May of 2009. And over these last 8.5 years have really built an incredible organization, have achieved the ranks of Pro 8, had a fabulous 6-figure income, and got myself one of the LifeVantage Jeeps. I didn't even know I liked the Jeep until we got one. So that's my story. It was a little long, but that's my story. So you want to tell your story so the person can hear something in your story that can get them interested. Say, well, I'm just like him. I'm a lawyer. Or maybe I'm an accountant. I don't have a retirement. I don't have a pension. So once your story is told, there are basically 6 points. Point number 1 is the company story. And the unique thing about our business is we have something that very few companies have. We are a publicly traded company. And that's very powerful because that means that somebody is looking over the company's shoulder, that the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, wants to make sure that whatever we say is what it is, and whatever it is what we say, that we are truthful, that we don't make outrageous claims, that our financials are in order. So that's a powerful thing. So we're a publicly traded company, and we've been around for a while. Our company was founded in 2003. And so that's nearly 15 years. We made the transformation from you'd say a retail store. We initially sold Pro Tandem on the shelves of the GNC stores. But once we decided to go, after that ABC prime time, when we decided to go network marketing, we pulled it out of the stores. So we started as a network marketing company in 2009. Another key point about the company is between now and 2009, we have sold over $1 billion in products. And that's a billion with a B. That's huge, folks. I mean, many companies never sell $1 billion in product, period. But we've done it basically in 8 years. So $1 billion in product, that says that we're a powerful organization. We have experienced leadership. When you look at Darren Jensen and the team, I mean, these fellows and ladies have been successful in other companies, and they bring that success to LifeVantage. We are international. One of the things that I like about what the Darren has done and the team there at the corporate has done is they have recognized that if you're not a global company, you're not in the deal. That at this cycle, you've got to be a global company just to be competitive. And so these points are key about the company that says that we are a unique company, that nobody else has what we have, and the fact that we are publicly traded and we have been around for 15 years. So on the idea of the power of the company, we can put a check and say, perfect, good company. The second point is the products. Now, the interesting thing is this, is you don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer or a health professional to explain our products. Sometimes folks will get a little confused about that. We don't have to worry about that. What we can do is this, is looking at the Harvard Rule of 4. The Harvard Rule of 4 says that if you want to get rich, you want to get a product that everybody needs, nobody has, priced to sell, and priced for profit. So let's look at what we have. Number one, we have a product that everybody needs. If we look at our industry, the segment, we're in the anti-aging. I like to call it active aging. I hate to be against anything. We're in the let's stay young, let's look good industry. And if there's any industry that's hot right now, that's it. Our products are protected by patents. We have proprietary products, and that's why in the 8.5 years I've been involved in the business, nobody has tried to do it. You know, in other words, our Pro Tandem is a proprietary product. We have patents on it, and all of our products are basically proprietary. And so you're not going to get a knockoff because we'll sue their pants off. We're at the forefront of the, you might say, the health and wellness industry. The whole idea of the biohacking, Like if you're going to hack something that's working well. Biohacking, they get the very best of all of our genetics and our genes and creating that perfect harmony in our body. Nutrigenomics, the whole idea that what we put into our body creates a whole vibration for health. And so we have elected in our products to deal with the areas that are hot, okay? Anti-aging, called it active aging. We look at weight control. I mean, these days, America is probably the most overweight country on the planet. We look at physical appearance, our skincare line. Everybody wants to look better, wants to eliminate wrinkles, and we have the ultimate product. We look at our energy. The energy drink, that industry is a $28 billion industry. And then we look at pets. So we have the Pet Tandem, a product. 70 million Americans have dogs or some kind of animal. And so when we look at our products, all the science is important. You know, the fact that it was approved by the Banned Substances Control Board for the Protandim, that it's safe for professional athletes and the public. I mean, those are just perks. But the idea is our products address very real issues of anti-aging, of looking good, of having energy, and of caring for our pets and the people we care about. So from a product point of view, we have a singular line of products that nobody else has, that's priced to sell. You know, we look at a bottle of Protandim at $40 or $40.99 a month, $41 a month, to give you the benefits that Protandim can give you. And we make no health claims. That, let me tell you, I don't think there's an investment better, any better investment. And all of the monies generated through our industry basically comes from the $41 of other wholesale products. So from a product point of view, we have the ideal product. Point number 3 in your presentation is to talk about the timing. You know, in real estate, it's location, location, location. In business, it's timing, timing, timing. Let's look at our timing. Number 1, the baby boomers. There are over 80 million baby boomers, and the baby boomers have accounted for every major trend in this country for the last 50 or 60 years. In the 60s, they bought Mustangs, the top selling car. In the 80s, they bought minivans because they had families and kids now. And look at everything. As a matter of fact, some of the car dealers have stopped making the other cars and lieu of the minivans. The baby boomers want to look better, want to feel better, and they are very, very committed to natural products. And so from a timing wise, but the baby boomers, we're right on time. Even with the millennials, when we look at that group under 35 coming out of college now with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debts and no jobs available. So many of the baby boomers are entrepreneurial, plus they're into the healthcare, the wellness thing. And so we, from a timing point of view, we're in the perfect spot. From our company timing point of view, I've been involved, as I said, with 18 companies. And one of the things that when you want to, say, be in the right place at the right time, when you want to get with a company that's going into momentum, and that means the company is somewhere between 5 million a month in sales up to about 600 million a year. And right now, LifeVantage is right there around 200 million a year. So we are going into momentum. The unique thing, though, is that most companies, when they go into momentum, will have over 250,000 distributors. I think worldwide, we have about 70,000, about 45,000 in the United States. So that just tells you that the timing for you to get involved with a company that's on the rise is perfect. The 4th point is the trends. That once again, if it's timing, 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 then the timing's got to coincide with the trends. That right now, 200,000 people every week go into network marketing because it's the one industry that your education doesn't matter, that your background doesn't matter, that if you have a dream and can follow a system, you can make money. People want to look good. People want to feel good. So we're plugged into the trends. You look at the anti-aging industry, you're talking $100 billion industry. Even entrepreneurship, the fact that people now want to take control of their lives. We are in the right place at the right time. The fifth point is the system. And we like to say system means save yourself time, energy, and money. And the point about a system is it's duplicatable. So our marketing system is one in which we use the power of exponential growth to create incredible income. If we say, what's the heart of the system? The heart of the system is to tell a new person what to do, show them how to do it, let them try doing it until they can do it themselves. And that then creates that independence for duplication. Our system also provides leverage so that a person can get involved and leverage their connections, their contacts, and their energy. The sixth point is compensation. Now, as a lawyer, you know, lawyers are very, very concerned about making money. You know, we often say that lawyers are so money hungry that they'll have their hands in their own pockets at some times. Our compensation plan does a couple of things. One, it rewards you with leverage. Our compensation plan, in our royalty, we pay an average of 5% 9 levels deep. If you look at the power of exponential growth, you take 5 and take it down 9 levels, 5 becomes over 1.7 million people or customers. We have exponential growth, but the unique thing about our company is we have a product that once a person starts taking it, they don't stop. I still have my first customer who was a oncologist after 8.5 years. He's gone through 3 credit card renewals. So if you can build a huge network of people who use the product, that's long-term wealth. We also have something very unique, and that's that we call it the elite bonus. It's the only company I know where once you get to a certain level, we call it our elite level, that you share in the income, the rewards, the growth, the money of everybody in the company, of every area in which the company is operated. So once you're elite distributor, you can receive income from Japan, from China, from wherever, even though you may not have distributors there personally, but the elite bonus does that. We have, from the compensation point of view, your only limitation is your own imagination. So to wrap it up, think about this. How do you get started? After you've heard all these good things, and you say, well, it must cost millions of dollars to get started in this industry, in this company. We have 3 levels to get started. We have what we call a silver level, which is a $350 investment, a gold level, a $650 investment, and a platinum level, a $1,200 investment. And the difference is really the amount of product. So if you looked at the 3 levels, you said, what's the advantage? Well, if you look at that platinum level, if you have more product available, then you can share it with more people. More people can try it. And believe me, when they try it, they buy it. The other levels, you just have less product. But the point is, it really doesn't matter that much. I prefer a person who comes in with that platinum level because they have the commitment and we can run real fast. But it's okay to get rich slow. But personal preference, look at that serious platinum pack. So for our guests, for those listening, I would recommend this. Life Energy is the perfect storm. There's a $45 billion antioxidant market, and we got a product that's 100 times better than anything else out there. There's a $58 billion industry, and we have the premier pet product. There's a $90 billion skincare industry, and we have a product that will make it'll make everybody look good. There's a $28 billion energy drink market, and believe me, we have the energy drink that's good for you. There are 80 million millennials who want to be entrepreneurs, and there are 80 million baby boomers who are concerned about their health and concerned about their finances. So I leave you with this. We have the golden egg and the chicken that laid it. So for our guests, for the people just starting out, recognize what you have. You have the golden egg, the chicken that laid it, and all you have to bring to it is this: a dream, a desire to change your life, and the determination to hang in there until you do it. Back to you, Gabe. Thank you.
Dr. Harris, incredible. I mean, I was just thinking, I've got a page full of notes. It's been, our relationship now is been 9 years.
Yes.
And I am still learning from you. And I really appreciate your wisdom. I hope everyone that has that's on this webinar took some great notes. Some of the things that I wrote down that I like just going to reiterate, you know, how important it is telling your story, not someone else's story, but your story. You know, 2 things you need to worry that most people want to know. Does it work? Can I do it? All right. I love this. This is what I'm going to use in my presentation, Dr. Harris. When you were talking about the company, sold $1 billion in product. I have never looked at it from that point of view. That is absolutely incredible. And of course, because it's category creating, we know everything behind it. And you're going to have to help me because I wasn't writing fast enough. But you talked about that Harvard thing. We have something that everyone needs.
Yes.
Nobody has. Price for profit. And what was the last one?
Price to sell.
Price to sell. Thank you. I love that. I love that. Thank you. On the timing part of it, how many baby boomers do you know, folks? How many millennials do you know? Go claim your stake. My goodness, it's there for the taking. The trends, 200,000 people join a network marketing company per week. And now this industry is the 2nd largest in the world, second to oil and gas. And you still have someone says, is that a pyramid scheme? They're operating back in the 70s, okay? So just educate everybody. The system, I could not have gotten a Master Pro 10 if it wasn't for Dr. Harris and the system that he taught me. Folks, learn the system. It's that simple. And the comp plan, it rewards you with leverage. My first customers from 8.5 years ago are still on the product. So that speaks volumes. And something that corporate taught Jill and I is the majority, if not all, network marketing companies, the average person who stays on their product is 50 days. So it's constantly recruiting, right? And the average with our products is 11 months.
Woo!
Folks, you know, again, Dr. Harris says it's a perfect storm, you know, so, and getting started is for peanuts. It's affordable for anyone. And that's what the opportunity is for everybody. So I hope you take a couple of things that you heard from Dr. Harris, implement them. Don't be afraid, you know, to be in front of an audience, whether you start out with 2 or 3 people in a Starbucks and just go over the 6 points. It's that simple. And then slowly but surely, you know, you're going to have to start pushing the walls out from Starbucks. And then you're in a home, and then you're in a bigger home, and then you're a bigger home, and then you're in a hotel. And again, always remember this: who has the most people in front of the audience wins, okay? Dr. Harris, thank you so much. I really appreciate your wisdom today.
Thank you so much. Carry on.